Hello bookworms, I'm Becca and today I'm going to be sharing some of my favorite new to me authors for 2018. I have 7 authors to share with you and quite frankly I could have chosen so many more because I read mostly authors that were new to me this year, which is really exciting. So here are just a few of my favorites. The first one is Anna Marie McLemore, who is the author of Wild Beauty. This is a magical realism book about a family of women who can make flowers grow from their hands, and they live in this botanical garden, and it's really amazing and beautiful. Her writing is absolutely stunning and I loved it. Other books by her are When the Moon Was Ours, which I have added to my TBR and I definitely want to get my hands on in 2019. Next I have Jennifer Matthew, who is most well known for her book Moxie, which is set in a high school where a girl witnesses a lot of injustice, so she decides to create a feminist zine to empower her fellow females to take back the school from some very sexist males, honestly. This was such a fun read with a lot of different themes running throughout that I really enjoyed. I recommend it to everyone. It was so fun and I cannot wait to read more of whatever Jennifer Matthew puts out because this was so cute. Next I have one of my all-time favorites from the year, and it is Where the Ants. The author is Sean David Hutchinson. I know that he is like a staple on BookTube. So many people love him. You might recognize the author's name from the book The Apocalypse of Elena Mendoza, which I have yet to read, but he is also coming out with a release in 2019 called The Past and Other Things That Should Stay Buried. I cannot wait to bury myself in this book because Sean David Hutchinson just ripped my soul to pieces and put it back together again. Next I have an author that I honestly cannot believe is new to me, but it is Adam Silvera, and I read History Is All You Left Me. This is a really fantastic book about a boy who is grieving over the death of his ex-boyfriend and finds solace in the most unlikely of places, his ex's current boyfriend. So they really lean on each other throughout this book, and it's interesting to see how the relationship was different between the two characters. All of the characters in this book were extremely complex, and I know that that's the case for all of Adam Silvera's books. You might recognize this author from More Happy Than Not or They Both Die at the End. And apparently he is possibly putting out a fantasy book in 2019, so keep your eyes peeled for that. I know I will be. Next I have Jen Wang, who put out the graphic novel The Prince and the Dressmaker. You might also recognize this name from Lumberjanes if you're a fan of that. I had no clue that she was involved in Lumberjanes. I love The Prince and the Dressmaker because the art style is just so beautiful and the story was really unique. I love queer books, as you know, and this is about a prince who likes to dress in women's clothing and the dressmaker who is hired to make the clothing for him in secret. It is such a fun story with lots of different twists and turns that I wasn't expecting, and the friendship and relationship between the two main characters was so heartwarming. I loved it a lot, and I know that I definitely need to get my hand on Lumberjanes and anything else that she puts out. Next I have Dress Code for Small Towns by Courtney C. Stevens. This is one of my favorite books that I read this year, and it is about a ragtag group of friends that decide to save their small town's harvest festival. I loved it so much, and I guess Courtney C. Stevens also put out a book this past November called 4321 about a bus bombing, so now I definitely need to pick that up because her writing is absolutely amazing. I flew through this book, I loved every aspect of it, and I know that you would too. And last but certainly not least, I have Francesca Zappia, who is the author of Eliza and Her Monsters. You might also recognize this name from her other book, Made You Up. I loved this book so much because it has to do with an online webcomic and you get snippets of that throughout the book. of all of the fan culture books, I truly believe that Eliza and Her Monsters does it the best. The story is engaging, the characters are well-rounded, there is not a lot to dislike about this book, and I definitely want to read Made You Up because there is a lot of mental health rep apparently. Francesca Zappia also has a book coming out October 2019 called Welcome to Adamsville. I cannot wait for that one. I'm definitely adding it to my most anticipated books. So there you guys go. Those are some of my favorite new to me authors that I discovered this year. Let me know what authors you discovered this year down below in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.